You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Maquati, no, Pacumatati, no, Passamamati, a Quadamapati, a Passamadati, a Quadamapati, a Quadamati,
It all sounds like some bad movie.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. You had to challenge me to Pete's Dragon, didn't you?
I did. I really did. And I'm glad I did too. I really am.
I knew it was coming. I mean, I did. I knew it. I knew it. It wasn't hard to figure out. I will just say.
You kept trying to cut me off. It's like, yeah, we both know what I'm gonna. I still have a setup. Please, sir, let me continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like the logic when I thought Disney and children in danger. And to be honest, oh, by the way, this is Moviesucktastic. I'm Scott. That's Joey.
Howdy.
And we're reviewing Pete's Dragon, the 1977 Disney family musical. I'm just stressing that. Family musical.
I forgot how much fucking music was in this. I mean, this is like at least 10, 12 songs. I mean, I completely forgot how much music is in this movie. I really did.
We're going to be doing a lot of comparison between memories of the film, but one thing I will say for sure is the only song that caught me off guard that I didn't remember immediately when it started was "Candle on the Water." But that's because that's the Cheer Up Charlie song of the movie. If you're watching the extended version.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
You didn't watch the extended version? Okay. So
we talked about how I wasn't going to do that.
Okay. No, that's fine. So I'll tell you what. You should kind of take the wheel and walk us through the film, because then afterwards I can point out the differences there are, because instead of like telling you what's not there, I have to tell you instead of saying what they took away, I have to tell you what was once there. So it'll be more annoying if we don't know what's going on. So why don't you walk us through the film? Just give us your basic, everything, your memory, childhood stuff. I'll jump in whenever, but you take the reins.
Yeah, no. So I remember watching this in the 80s when it came out in the 70s. I was only a year old when it came out, so I remember watching this in the 80s, and whether it was VHS or on the Disney Channel. I mean, there was times when the Disney Channel would allow you to watch their channel for free on weekends. A lot of cable providers did that back in the day.
And it came with some packages. We had the Disney Channel for a while just because it came with a package. Yeah. We never watched it except for, Disney films like this. I remember watching on Disney Channel.
All you young people out there that have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, back in our day, if you didn't have HBO or Cinemax or Showtime or any of those things, a lot of times you could only watch those on weekend previews, and they would give you these sweetheart deals. But Disney Channel was included sometimes. Now everything's just there. It's just with the internet. These young whippersnappers today, they don't know what the hell. It's like, really? You lived like that? Yes.
Don't let them know we're old. They'll swarm us.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
Now,
You're right.
Now there's like a 3-year age difference between Joey and I. So I grew up watching this, and I can't be certain. I definitely watched the extended version as a child because I remembered every goddamn song that came up in the extended version. You thought there was too much music in the film and you watched the short version? Ha ha ha, sir.
How much longer is the extended? I think we figured it out last week. It's 2 hours, 17 minutes.
No, the extended version that's available, not the original cut, which was like 2 hours, like almost 2.5 hours. The the extended version that's available, which technically a full cut, is 2 hours and 9 minutes.
That's the extended?
Yes.
Oh, that's the one I watched then.
Oh, okay. Then we're on the same page. I thought you watched. I watched both. I watched the short one too.
Oh, okay. So I thought no. So okay, when we talked about it last week, there is a version that is longer than 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Yeah,
it's like some TV edit bullshit where it's like 2 hours and 17.
And I couldn't find it.
I could not find it either. What I found was it didn't. The version that I found wasn't called the extended. It was just called Pete's Dragon with a runtime of 2 hours and 8 minutes. Fine. So we did watch the same one. Good.
Yes. Good.
Awesome.
Good. Then my rundown of what was in the edited version will be much quicker.
Yeah, because I can't believe you watched both, but I thank you for it. I do.
And I watched the remake, but I'm not going to get into that too much.
Oh, I never did it. I never watched it. Yeah, no, jeez. I feel like I should do it though.
All I'm going to say is whoever greenlit that, may they burn in hell.
Oh my God.
That's all.
So anyway, so the movie starts out with Pete running through the forest with being carried or riding. Actually, he's riding Pete, or Elliot, I should say.
But he's invisible in that scene.
But Elliot is invisible. So it's a little bit more of Disney's wire work that we kind of saw in Bedknobs and Broomsticks. It's very similar style of special practical effects.
Harder to see the strings in the newer ones.
Correct. It was a lot better.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's running from his adoptive family who purchased him for $50 because there's a whole fucking song about it.
The Gogans.
The Gogans, which,
yeah,
it's funny. We watch this and it's like, oh, I wonder if Richard Donner kind of modeled the Fratellis a little bit after this without the singing,
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I did think of it when I rewatched this. I obviously didn't think of it back then because I saw this before Goonies came out, and I just kind of put the two and two together when I was watching this. I'm like, huh, kind of like a Fratelli kind of thing here, and Sloth is kind of like the Pete, but not really.
I don't want to jump ahead too much, but I feel like the film has some resemblances to Harvey.
Okay, sure.
So I think the film does borrow from here and there. The opening credits, somebody got based on a story idea by like two guys. So basically someone just said, hey, what if this kid had an invisible dragon, he went into town and everybody hated him. And they made a film and someone ran with that.
Yeah.
And this is what they got,
Yeah. And also in the opening credits, I never realized, and it makes a ton of sense now, that Don Bluth, who used to work for Disney back in the day, who branched off on his own and did his own animated films like The Secret of Nim and All Dogs Go to Heaven, et cetera, Laserdisc games like Dragon's Lair and Space Ace. He directed this and obviously was head of animation and whatnot. And looking back at it now after rewatching this, it's like, yeah, that's totally Don Bluth animation. Just Elliot is 100% Don Bluth.
Yeah, and if you spent any time in a comic book store in the past 40 years, Don Bluth is.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's basically it. Now, you mentioned Don Bluth branched off and did his own thing. You know when he did that?
Was it after this?
Another career breaker.
Yeah, it makes sense because
he wanted a director's credit because there's 22 minutes of screen time with Elliot that he directed and they were trying to get him a credit, but I think the Screenwriters Guild, the Directors Guild or some Film Guild or somebody said they couldn't, and he was like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here." And he had other issues with Disney too. Like they once they saw how great his stuff was, they increased how much they wanted, but they didn't increase the budget. And then they yelled at him for going over budget. So it sounded like it was a nightmare for him.
Yeah,
just catching it. But the animation, Elliot makes this movie. It's adorable.
I don't know if it was the version I was watching when I was a kid, or the TV was maybe not calibrated correctly, but I remembered him being more bluish green instead of like, and this is also a remaster as well, so
I think it was your TV.
it might have been. I really remember him being, I knew he was green, but I remembered him being a little bit more of a bluish green, almost like a turquoise. And in the remaster, he's green. I mean, he's just green. He's a green dragon. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Now the Fratellis, God damn it, you did it to me. The Gogans introduction. If any doubt I had that I remembered this film, the minute they started singing, I knew the words. You know, you be the apple of your mom's eye. It's like all of it, like even the dances they did and stuff. Those two brothers, the guys that play the evil Gogan brothers,
right?
Those two are acrobatics.
Well, one of the guys is Jeff Conway from Grease.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he.
I don't watch Grease that much.
Well, he was in a few other things too. He played.
I recognize him.
I knew him immediately. I'm like, holy shit, that's what's his face from Grease, and I looked it up, and sure enough, it was him. He played the one brother, and I was like, oh, he was only in his mid-20s when he did this. He was young, but yeah, I was like, oh wow, that's what's his face from Grease. I knew it immediately. No,
not a lot of youngins in the cast besides Pete
and Helen Reddy. I'm getting a lot of Mary Warrenoff vibes out of her, just to her face. She just kind of looked like Mary Warrenoff.
Beautiful.
Just kind of looked.
Close-ups. Every expression on her face is perfect. A professional. Also, another career breaker.
Yeah. Oh, really? What happened?
Well, she just didn't really. She just kind of lost interest in films after this one. She didn't really do. She made appearances and stuff, but this was pretty much the last film she really did as far as major role, that kind of thing. So I don't know if that's because of the film, but usually I don't know. She's more music anyway. So
she was absolutely.
Yeah. But she's flawless, and Sean Marshall, the kid that plays Pete, he's also great in this film.
Yeah, no, I remembered so much rewatching this.
Yeah,
I did forget how much music was in this, though.
I only forgot "Candle in the Wind" because it was the
Buck Up Charlie.
It was the Cheer Up Charlie episode.
Cheer Up Charlie.
Song. Yeah.
I don't know why. I always call it Buck Up Charlie. I hate that song, and because Willy Wonka is otherwise a perfect movie.
Exactly. Yes. That's it. So the same thing with Candle. That, and if you notice, no, you wouldn't notice. Never mind. Continue. So the Gogans are So the opening of this Disney family musical is a child in rags running in fear and hiding in the forest from a family of savage hillbillies who want to enslave the child.
Right.
It's a family musical. And but so here's the problem I have with it. This is like a parents notes problem. This is a film for kids and for families, and two of the songs in the film are include lists of different horrible things they're going to do to one of the other characters.
Yeah.
Some of the lines the Gogans sing, gonna tie him to the railroad tracks, cut him in half.
Yeah.
Oh my God. In these hills. It's stuck in my head. I know this. Every song.
It truly is my only real memory of Shelley Winters is this movie. Which is sad because she's been in a bunch of other good films, including the one with Robert Mitchum.
Poseidon Adventure.
No.
But I'm saying Poseidon Adventure to name one.
Oh well, yeah. I didn't really grow up with that one. What was it? Oh my God! Now I'm gonna look it up now. But it's Night of the Hawk or something like that.
Night of the Iguana.
I don't know. I don't remember.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep talking about the Gogans.
You do that. You keep doing that.
Yeah. So but again, he dodges the Gogans and you eventually see Pete the dragon because
Night of the
he turns himself
Hunter.
Invisible.
Night of the Hunter.
There you go. Okay.
Excellent movie, and it's got, not to talk about a different film, but if you've never seen Night of the Hunter, you should check that out. It has some really good scenes in there for its time period, ahead of its time. Really, check that out.
Okay. So Pete's dragon.
Pete's dragon. Let's talk about Pete and his fucking dragon.
Yeah, you finally see the Don Bluth animation with him interacting with the dragon, and as a kid, I thought it worked fine. I mean, it's animation, but you're still it's all fake anyway. It's a fantasy world. It's just like early 1900s coastal town.
Yeah, it's a beach community, small town.
So Pete escapes from these horrible people and flees into finds this new town, Passamaquoddy. And as a kid, I loved the nonsense names.
Yeah.
Any song that's why I loved Bedknobs and Broomsticks, like the nonsense word songs. For some reason, it just like gelled in my gelatinous brain. But he stumbles into Passamaquoddy and finds a town full of townsfolk who are quickly and eagerly ready to kill him.
Yes, as is Red Button's Hoagie and Dr. Terminus Jim Dale.
But that's later.
That is a little later, but you can tell how short-tempered.
That's the weird.
You could tell but you could tell how short-tempered this town is.
Short-tempered. I mean, it takes one day of no fish, and they're like, "Hey, it's probably that new kid that came into town, right?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
He fucked it all up.
Holy shit! He came into town yesterday. You had one day of bad fishing, and you're already looking to lynch the strange kid. This isn't the 1800s. I mean, we're not going that far back. Holy shit! Seamen are a strange bunch.
And Jim Backus as the mayor, where most people will know him from Gilligan's Island. He played Thurston Howell the Third.
Thurston Howell the Third. I was waiting for you to trip that one up. Okay.
Well, I got it. So.
So.
Meh, that's right. But yeah, no, I forgot that he was in. I forgot a lot of this and remembered a lot when I rewatched it.
It's like I always remembered it. It's one of those things where, because when I'm at no point did anything happen except maybe the candle in the wind sequence. I was like, why is this taking so long? At no point did I watch anything that was unfamiliar to me. It was like I'd already seen it before, and I was just kind of like, oh yeah. It, like no real surprises, just like, oh yeah, I remember that. So I really watched the hell out of this film as a kid, and I'm not sure if I watched both versions, but I definitely watched this version because I knew the songs way too well. Yeah,
because the cut version, I imagine. Well, we're going to talk about what they cut. Okay.
Yeah.
Because let's say I want to say there was at least 10 or 12 songs. Let's just say there's 10 songs, right?
I'm going to ask you what you would cut before we do it. Let's just save all that until the end.
Well, I was just going to say there's probably anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes of just straight up music.
Oh, a shit ton of music.
In this.
And amazingly extended scenes. Yeah. No, we'll talk about that.
Okay. So what's your question?
No question.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring something up.
No, I was just saying we'll deal with that part at the end afterwards.
I see.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So when he stumbles into town, when everybody goes after him, he stumbles into one of the local drunks,
which is Mickey Rooney. Oh man,
Mickey Rooney, and this is our first of many introductions to alcoholism played for comedic effect, which isn't. Even today is still done, but it's very, very tone deaf in this film, and it's very doesn't hold up well modern day.
Yeah. I also forgot Mickey Rooney was in here, but who I didn't forget was in here was Red Buttons.
Red Buttons. Oh, of course not.
I how could I forget? And
you know why? You know why?
Why?
Because you remember the Red Button songs, but you don't remember the Mick Rooney songs. He only sang in that one.
The bar, yeah.
Oh no, he sang in two. Never mind.
He did sing 2 songs, but the first one is the bar song.
No, I'm stupid and wrong. Ignore me. Move on.
And what's funny about remembering things? Jim Dale as Dr. Terminus. I vividly remember him as this character. Vividly, like with the outfit and the curled up mustache and the really, really just over the top facial expressions on some of his scenes, and I just loved it as a kid, and I got to be honest, I still enjoyed it rewatching it. I just loved him in this.
Ditto. The whole introduction song. What was that? I think I just called it like the fraud music. The fraud.
Yeah, that's when
song.
they enter town.
Yeah, they enter town. And so I love the idea. This is one of the. I mean, there's a lot of like great ideas in this film that they kind of use. I give them credit for trying to. It's a weird second act twist where out of nowhere is okay. We already have a dragon following this kid around. Things are, and the town hates him. Things are bad enough, and he's running from his family still, who really are kind of incidental until the third act. The Gogans don't really show up too much. They show up once. They show up once at the beginning of the third act, really, or they're coming at the end of the second act. Signals the third act. Whatever. Shut up, Scott. But I forgot where I was going.
We were talking about Dr. Terminus and red buttons.
But, so out of nowhere, I rambled off there. So out of nowhere in the second act, like here comes this snake oil salesman charlatan, like almost literally. On a wagon with sails because they had to get rid of their horses and they're fleeing the last town they came from. And what I love is that they don't come into this town and swindle them. They come into this town that already knows them and they swindle them again.
That's right.
And which is, by the way, I know I'm talking about a film that centers around an invisible dragon, but this is the most realistic part of this movie.
Yes. He couldn't even get the name right for the town, and there's a whole part in that song that he sings. You put it in the opening where he's just mumbling it, saying it incoherently wrong.
I must have driven my parents insane because I know I rewound that song countless times. God damn, Passamaquoddy, Sadamaquassam, Passamasadam, Sodomawaki, Casamawadam. Oh, just like, shut up! I love that song. His delivery is great. And Red Buttons, I saw that there was a lot of you can tell there's a lot of ad-libbing in some of the sequences because they're just singing a song and they have to put stuff in there, or they're just like, you can tell there's scenes that they choreographed around dialogue that had nothing to do with what they were doing.
For sure. I mean, when you're doing this kind of movie / musical, you definitely gonna have that.
But you have some real high-class professionals in this film, and that's why it works. Because, I mean, this is Mickey Rooney probably just before his decline. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to start looking stuff up. But, I mean, he was still good. Let's put it this way. He was still good in this.
He was still good in this, but I want to say his decline had already started.
Maybe.
He's probably on his 4th divorce.
Well, that's what... I just mean as an actor. I'm not talking about his life.
Yeah.
I mean, he was still, he sang the songs. He was in there. He was good, tender when he had to be, and he held his own with Helen Reddy, who was definitely, out of his league. And he's not there as his husband anyway, so I should shut up. Shut up, Scott.
He didn't play her dad, right?
I thought it was her father.
I thought it was her father.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking about him and her getting hooked up outside of the movie. Because I'm I thought that he was her dad.
I'm saying ignore me. Shut up, Scott.
I thought you were talking about that in the movie. It's like, if
I say shut up, Scott, ignore anything I said before that.
Gotcha.
There you go. Really, really, really. But I mean, yeah. So, but then after Mickey Rooney sees the dragon, he goes to the bar, And then there's a whole singing song and dance sequence about a dragon. I swear I saw a dragon. It's true. Oh, what are we to do? It's just, I remember the whole, and then it goes like, and that's a long one too. That's a long sequence. They start dancing over the place and throwing Helen Reddy around the hall and making her dance. It's really beer everywhere. Just again, this is a bar. A bunch of drunk guys dancing around, singing a song. This is our family film.
Yes, it is. Well, you know what's funny too? When this movie came out, or when I was watching it, I should say, a few years later, and it just a lot of these scenes, with the like talking about being drunk and whatnot, it was also kind of not normal in the 70s and 80s, but like nowadays. Yeah, you look at it now and go, what the hell? Back then, it was kind of normal. It really wasn't.
Yeah,
we were
still coming off 60s.
Yeah, people didn't think twice. With musicals being popular again.
They weren't.
No, I'm talking about now. Like today, musicals. They were on the decline. You're right. They were like way on the decline. But musicals being popular again within the last 8 to 10 years. Well, let me ask you this. The remake of Pete's Dragon, was that a musical?
No,
just straight up movie. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean that's okay.
Don't ask me about that.
Well, they still could have made it good, but
I don't want to talk about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if a film like this had a bit of a resurgence, because as far as a musical goes, very well done. Very well done as a musical.
I don't know. I didn't look it up. I don't know if they ever did a stage musical of it, like they've done of everything. But
I could see this being on Broadway and not really having to change much. I could easily see it.
I love the music. You know what the funny part is? I don't know if from what I read, it wasn't supposed to be a musical at first.
Oh, really?
They just consigned the one song. The Candle in the Wind, that was the main song, which also was nominated for an Oscar for original song. And they loved it so much, they were like, shit, let's just turn it into a musical.
Give me 10 more songs.
Yeah, give me 10 more songs. And they put all this shit in there. I think there's even like one, I know there's at least one sequence that's not even in the version that we saw. I don't even know anything about it, so I shouldn't have brought it up. But they put so much music in this. And then when they cut it, they really just took a hatchet to it.
Really?
But we'll get there. We don't want to hash out too much of the plot. We don't get into detail. We're not doing a blow by blow. But Pete ends up hiding in a cave, and the local lighthouse widow sees him and invites him in. And then which is Mickey. It turns out to be the drunk Lampy, her father.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, and so and then long story short, they kind of adopt him, try to adopt him, but then the fraudsters come into town, and then they find out that the dragon's real. And here's the part that's a little confusing for me. So again. This is another instance where we sing a song about doing horrible things to another character. They find out the dragon's real, and so he finds this old dusty book. He's like, look, there's actual cures for all these ailments from dragons. We can cure all these things from dragons. And they start singing about all the parts they can chop off of poor Elliot, which is horrible enough in itself.
I know, right?
And again, great song. I'm not knocking the song, but it's just
all
horrible.
of Dr. Terminus's songs were great.
Yeah,
they were all great.
Between him and Red Buttons, you can't fail. They just nailed it.
There's so much charisma and character just between the two of them. It was just awesome.
Yeah, they almost steal the movie. That's probably why they have to bring him in so late in the film. They actually become an inordinate part of the plot, almost more so than the Gogans.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah,
they're just trying to
background characters.
Yeah, they're just trying to get this kid back that they paid $50 for, plus fees, of course, to just
50 cents fees.
Just to have him slave over their farm.
Hey, I got a bill of sale right here. Sorry, I had to. Yeah, but here's the thing. Tell me if I'm off on this.
All right.
my assumption is that he's a quack, right? They're making up fake remedies, right? Because he's putting potato peelings and salt water and shit in them, right? I'm not confused. We're not considering him a real doctor.
I think he thinks what he's doing.
That's not the question.
Okay.
No, that is the question. No, he's a fraudster. He knows he's defrauding people. There's no, especially at the end, where he's like, I don't like any of these people here. I don't want to.
They don't deserve my cures. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't deserve my cures. They deserve whatever they got. He's just like so spite malice. I mean, they purposely show in that moment that he's a fraud. Not only is he a fraudster, but he really doesn't care about curing anybody. So then they find out about the dragon, and then they got all excited because, hey, if we catch this dragon, we can actually cure people. My question, I'm confused by that, because if they really are fraudsters, one, they don't care about curing people, so they don't care that these are actual cures, and two, why go through the trouble of getting the actual cures when their main thing is faking them, and they're doing well faking them? They already bedazzled the same town twice.
Right. I don't know. I kind of got the feeling that he thinks he knows what he's doing. I'm sure. I get the feeling that
I'm sure
he doesn't think.
He gleaned a bit here and there, but he's not you saw that dental rig. He's not a real dentist.
No, that's great.
Thank you.
Because keep your foot on here, or else this thing's going to rip through your face, tear this out, do this, and yeah.
Again, I understand it's a film about an invisible dragon, but for me, it's a minor plot hole. That's all.
I don't know. I think he believes some of the stuff that he makes. He's genuinely doing a good job on.
All I'm saying is, if he wanted to kill the dragon and stuff it and sell tickets to see it, I totally buy that.
Well, yeah, of course.
It just the he'll cure things. Again, it's a great song. It just seemed like a weak plot point. I'm sorry. Again, invisible dragon film. Shut up, Scott.
It's a kids movie about an invisible dragon. Oh man.
Yeah. So then he gets together with the Gogans because they want the boy to do their farm labor.
Yeah.
I mean, go through and listen to the lyrics carefully. They want this boy to die working in the field. It's like the Amish with the horse. They're gonna work him to death. You know? And so he convinces them to help him catch the dragon, and then he goes to this fisherman and he's like, hey, yeah, your fish are gone, right? If you help me, we'll get this kid out of your town. Says, oh yeah, kidnap a child to save my fishing? Yeah, let's do this. Yeah. So the whole town just goes apeshit to fucking kidnap this child, and play along with the whole dragon thing until they actually see it.
Yeah. No,
it's just
thought it was a good idea at the time.
Yeah, it's just like without the music really holds this film together.
Yeah, without the music, it would probably fall apart pretty easily.
No, totally. And it's just like the whole third act is just this weird, okay, we've pent all this stuff. Now we're going to actually get some action going on in here. And it's not that they don't have action. There's the whole, we almost skipped by the school marm. Wow. So again, another trait of Disney films is not only do we take a child and make it an orphan,
right,
and then put it in a hazardous environment, we also need to teach the child repeatedly that no adult should ever be trusted. This is like flashbacks to to Escape to Witch Mountain.
Oh, right.
It's like every
movie.
adult they run it. Another Disney film. Every adult they run into is the most even the hero, when they first meet him, is a horrible person. It's just so of course the teacher has to be just like a spiteful, sadistic bitch. It just has to be that bad, and it's horrible. and then they have her like beating his knuckles and stuff. It's like, wow. But that, of course, is just to get a rise out of Elliot, so he smashes through the walls, which is funny.
Yeah, in the shape of him.
Yep. Love that. I think I got a shot of that in the slides.
Yeah. I mean, there was a few things Roger Rabbit took from this movie. That was one of them. Obviously, the animation interacting with live action, that was another.
And now, I think one of the most ingenious parts of the film is that it's almost that half of its huge climax is hinged on a subplot that is like barely visible throughout the whole film, but really doesn't hurt anything, and it works. Is the whole subplot about her fiance who got lost at sea, and so
Right.
Pete sends the dragon out to find him, and then it brings what's his name, Robert Goulet back.
Yeah. It's not Robert Goulet, but
It looked like Robert Goulet to me.
it might as well have been.
I mean, it's a Disney. I love the Disney ending. I'm sorry, it's a perfect ending because they all become a nice happy family, and then there's like that touching little, oh, Elliot has to move on now and help other people in other children in danger in Disney films, and then and then this is like waving at him and everything.
Did they do that in the remake, by the way?
No.
Oh, really? He got to stick around?
I don't want to talk about the remake.
Oh, man. All right. I guess I shouldn't ask you these things. I should just watch the fucking thing.
We'll see how much time we have before I go trudging into that debacle. All right, so the 2-hour 9-minute version you feel is too long for a Disney film. I have my own qualms. So, like, just off the top of your head, if you were going to just cut some chafe out of this film, what would you cut out?
The weaker songs, probably.
Which ones?
Oh, like the candlelight one. Anything here? Let's
you want to cut the Oscar-nominated song?
Yeah, it's boring.
Out of your film. No, you can't cut. I'm
It's
sorry,
fucking
you can't
boring.
cut it out.
I don't care.
I'm telling you right now, you can't. It's the Oscar-nominated song. That's not an option. You gotta pick a different thing.
I'd cut up Cheer Up Charlie out of Willy Wonka in a heartbeat.
Me too, but that's not an Oscar-nominated song.
There's not many I would cut.
Give me two.
Two.
And I'll give you my two.
Can't even
after my first
can't
watch.
even remember two.
I'll tell you, after my first watch of the full 2-hour version, I would say the two songs that I really just didn't enjoy at all, and I really wanted to fast forward through, and I didn't. God damn it, were "The Candle in the Wind," just because it's the Cheer Up Charlie song, and
but you won't cut it.
What? I'm saying you can't cut the song. I'm just saying I would have.
Okay.
So I probably should have let you choose it, but I was just trying to add. I'm a jerk about that.
Yes.
I think we were in agreement. That's the song we want to cut, but we can't cut it.
No.
And then the other song I would want to cut is "Brazzle Dazzle Day."
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that one.
It goes on way too long, and it's a stupid song. And Brazzle Dazzle, you just added a B on the Razzle Dazzle. That's not a nonsense word. Fuck off. You can't do that to me. I can see through your lies. So those are the two songs I would have picked. If you had a second song, which one would you pick?
Probably the other Helen Reddy song that she did. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, you mean there's two other ones. There's it's not easy to get someone you care. It's
that one. That one. Yes.
But then the other one is there's room for everyone in this world.
Oh, wait a minute.
Just make I'm
starting to remember. Yeah, I don't like either of them.
Helen Reddy.
I'm sorry, I just didn't like anything she said. I like the more fun stuff, like the bar one is great. Anything with Dr. Terminus and Hoagie, like all of those were for fun, and I loved those.
And you can't really cut the bar song because like that's Andy Rooney's introduction.
No, I love the bar
Lampy.
song. I love the bar song. I love when they're on the beer caskets and they're rolling them, like a log barrel thing, and I just love that. And then the cork pops and the beer's flying everywhere. I just love all that. That was great.
Now the Everyone Makes Some Room song, that got a little bit of backlash when the film came out.
Did it? For what?
Yes. Oh, because it's a song about inclusion and all the children were white.
When it came out?
When the film came out.
In the 70s it got backlash for that?
Yes.
Excuse me.
The 70s? Yes, the late 70s we're talking. Yes.
Yes, I know. Oh.
They were big on civil rights and stuff.
I didn't think they cared.
No, it came up. I mean, it wasn't a major controversy, but it was brought up in reviews. That's all. I'm not, again, it didn't cancel the film. It just, yeah. But they did, that was kind of I personally like that song. But I could do without the extended children's dance sequence at the end of the song. I hate that part. But I like the song. I remember the lyrics as it was going. Yeah, I remember this. Great. Yeah. A lot of white kids.
I mean, aside from songs,
also,
I really don't know what else I would cut for time on this. Just because,
that's interesting.
Only because there's like 40 minutes of songs. If you cut more of the film for time, let's put it this way, it's a 2-hour 9-minute movie, and if you cut out 40 minutes, you're looking at a 90-minute film. And if you cut more for time, I mean, you're probably not going to have much of a movie left. Probably going to have an hour and 15-minute movie.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think I would cut very much of the film for time.
So, that was what you would want to make a prediction of what they did cut at least one song entirely from the film. Make a prediction as to which one it was.
You mean in the cut version?
In the cut version, in the hour and 45-minute version, correct.
Is it the Dr. Terminus and Hoagie song? Not the first one, the second one?
Oh, you mean money, money, money on the pound.
Yes.
Every little piece, every little piece. No, it is not that one. You are incorrect. So,
okay.
So I made a list. I didn't look this up online and go through an official list. So I might be missing things. But if I missed it, it doesn't matter because I watched these like almost one after the other. So if I didn't notice, it wasn't worth noticing. The first thing is the opening. You remember the opening credits? There's like that light Disney song in the background.
Yes.
Here's what you do when you can't cut a song because it's an Oscar nominee. You put it on the opening credits.
Oh.
They got rid of that song entirely out of the film, but they put it on the opening credits, so it's still in the movie. And also, you need it in the film because it's also part of the score that repeats repeatedly in certain parts.
Gotcha.
So you had to have it. So opening credits, they got rid of a scene. They saved some time right there.
That opening credits is like 4 minutes long.
Yeah, they put the whole song in it. Bam. Good. We're done. We already shaved some time. We're ready. So the second cut was the one that cut me the deepest, and I was surprised. They cut the entire. Not only did they cut the song, they cut the entire Gauguin introduction.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, that's one of the best songs.
Yeah, like when they're introduced and they're
going to torture the child.
But when they're all individually introduced by like coming up behind like a rock and a tree, and it's like whoa.
Yeah, well, I feel like I guess they thought they could get rid of that because they do the same thing when they appear in town. But I thought it was nice as a callback instead of just leaving it as a solo. But they cut all of that out. The first time you meet the Gauguins is when Pete's hiding in the log. Once he hides in the log, they cut right to when the two brothers come over and start getting knocked in the mud.
Oh, jeez! Wow.
So they don't get a real legitimate introduction
until the second act.
Until they rolled into town, yeah.
Wow.
At the end of the second act.
Wow. That's wrong.
That hurt me. I thought they'd trim it. But they cut it right out. I was like, oh, that pissed me off. All right. So after that, dragon. A dragon. You thought I saw a dragon. They cut that song in half.
Oh, the bar scene and all that?
Yeah, so what they did is they cut the bar scene just before it got to the Cirque du Soleil gymnastics.
Okay.
And so they cut it short, and it just fades to her helping him down the beach, which is where the scene originally ends to begin with.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Shot. I mean, I thought the fade was shoddy, but I was like, yeah, but they faded last time, so how shoddy is it? All right, shut up, Scott. Then they didn't cut the Terminus song. They shortened it a little bit. They took out the old lady when he pretends to be an old lady with the horn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and again, that's
Red Buttons pretended to be the old lady.
Red buttons between the old lady, yes. And one of the reasons I know I saw this as a kid because I remember him when he sticks his fingers in his ears to shake up the liquid after he poured it in the horn in both ears. It's just little movements like that burned into my memory for life. So that's why I know I saw this as a kid. But they just cut the old lady out. It just goes right to the guy. And I think that's the most inspired cut besides Candle, because you don't even notice. If you didn't know the song, you had no idea they cut something out of it.
Right.
It's a seamless cut, and you don't really need 2 examples. One was enough. We're done. This town's dumb enough. They don't need 2 examples. You got them with the old guy with the crutches. cut right to the climax here, Terminus. Then they trim the opening of when Lampy meets Terminus at the bar.
Okay.
So remember when he's like complaining about he's selling his stuff, and the last of it he starts complaining about everybody?
Yes.
They lose all of that, and it starts right when it cuts to the side angle, and Lampy stumbles into the bar, into the table.
Oh, and then he takes Hoagie to go see Elliot.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that's still there, but they just got rid of that little preamble where he talks about how much he hates the town. Not a bad cut. You can lose that. I no argument with that.
All right.
Then for some reason they felt that the introduction to the teacher was too long. So in this long version, when she and Peter first walking and he's like trying to convince her that he doesn't have to go to school.
Okay.
Remember he's like
yeah.
9 times. Yeah. So they cut that, and then when after the whole thing when she comes up with you're late. They cut what was her name? Fran? I forgot her name. Her character's name was Nora. They cut it just before. They Fran and Nora.
Yeah, I got it.
It cuts just before you see Fran. Oh.
Nora.
It cuts just before you see Nora and Pete. I almost called him Charlie.
Oh boy.
So you don't get that introduction. It just fades to them in the classroom. So I don't know. It was like it's such a minor cut. I don't know why they did it. I guess maybe they make her the teacher seem less nasty. Doesn't help because they still left in all the knuckle cracking.
Yeah, no, she hates him no matter what.
Yeah, and then so they did not cut the Every Little Pieces song. However, they cut that in half too. They cut out everything when they go outside.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
right. Wow.
And I agree with that too. Even I was getting bored with the second song with the soft shoe dance. It was like I saw this during the first part. I just why are you guys still dancing? That part goes on way too long. They chopped it, and that's really the last cut. Everything else in the film is as is.
So that cut, how long is that cut? That's an hour and 38 minutes. Hour 45.
Yep.
All right. So they cut about 24
Close to 20
minutes. 24 minutes out. No, that's wrong. I'm sorry.
No.
It's
close to 20, under 20.
If it's an hour and 45 and it's 2 hours and 9, that's 24. No, yes, 24 minutes.
This is horrible. Move on,
dude. It's 20. 15 and 9 is 24.
Ask me about the remake.
Listen. I know how to do math, and this is real simple math.
I know. That's why I'm trying to.
Let's move on. Listen, everyone listening knows. Motherfucker, it's 24 minutes.
Okay. Now. What's the worst part of as far as parental guide, which I might bring up briefly.
We can do it.
As far as parental guide goes, what's the worst part of the film? The part where you would cringe at the idea of your kids watching it. I know which part it was for me.
What part would I?
Well, I'll tell you. For me, give you context. For me, it's when the Gogans show up again at the docks, and they're threatening to take him away, and the two brothers start arguing over who's going to get to hold.
Hold Nora.
Yeah, hold Nora. My brain went to Flora. I'm dying here. But and then the father's like, "No, I'm gonna hold her."
And then she's like, "If you're gonna hold her like the way my boys are."
And I'm just like, we're talking about rape, right? and we've instantly been unmonetized. I apologize, but yeah, we're talking about rape, right? That's what we're talking about. He's not holding them, right? Because this is getting really creepy, and we got to stop doing this. It's a kids' film. Please stop. Please stop.
You ruined our monetization.
I had to. I'm not holding back. Fuck that.
You ruined it. We're not going to make 48 cents this week, you bastard.
Yep, I know. I suck. But I mean, for me, for that part, even I clutched my pearls at that moment. I was like, oh, that's a bit strong for a kids' film. What are we doing here? But it didn't bother me as a kid at all. I guess I didn't become a grabber.
I guess so, but I think
there it is. Parents' Guide.
My youngest is probably too young to realize that. My oldest might be like, that's some funny talk right there.
The runner-up for me, we talked about how much like alcoholism is funny, ha goes on in the film.
Yeah.
Forget that. They actually give Elliot alcohol.
Yeah, they did.
They are actually pouring alcohol into the dragon's mouth in the film. Like this is almost like
they did it in Roger Rabbit too. It's like almost like an homage.
Well, at that point, yeah, but that was all an homage, and that was for adults too. I mean, this is a kids' film.
Well, Roger Rabbit it's rated
that's for adults.
It's rated PG.
It's for adults, though. It's made for adults. Let's be fair.
But it's rated PG in a time of PG-13 movies. So it was definitely 50-50 on that.
Anyway.
There's no anyway.
No.
Roger Rabbit is a kids' film that adults can enjoy.
I disagree with that, but I'm just going to move on. So I'm on the Parents' Guide. So in my head, I'm thinking it's got to be about the alcohol, and it's got to be about what else? Alcohol, child in danger,
teacher abuse.
The teacher slapping him, violence. Okay, let's hope that's in there. A lot of alcoholism, everybody turning on the kid. I feel like there's something I'm missing.
The town mob. Get this kid out of here. Like helping kidnap this kid. The whole town is in on it.
Okay, here we go. Sex and nudity, none. A small amount of innuendo. The Gogan men make comments about how, in an attempt to steal Pete back, they'd like to hold Nora. They should have put "hold Nora" in quotes because that meant rape. But also under sex and nudity, Nora kisses Elliot, which makes him disappear.
Oh, really?
Kissing a cartoon character doesn't count as sex. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I don't care who knows.
It's not his fault. He's just drawn that way.
Exactly. Violence and gore. You know what? They're right on the money. First one throughout the film, it is made clear that Pete's hillbilly foster family were very abusive towards him, and it's about them, about the whole song with everything I said. Thank you. The parents are on the ball here, man. Some mild slapstick. Okay. A teacher unfairly uses corporal punishment. You called it. Slapping his knuckles.
Well, he gets hit in the ass too.
Yeah. She goes to spank him with a yardstick, but is stopped before she can do so.
Oh, that's right. She was going to. You're right. Elliot got angry, very angry at that point.
Man, there's nothing to make fun of here. Multiple kidnapping attempts. Yes. Yes. In one song, Jim Dale and his apprentice talk about binding and grinding Elliot. Thank you. I mean, again, I watched this as a kid countless times. It didn't scar me or anything. I don't think it's evil that kids should watch this film. But just the decisions adults making these films in the 70s, is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
They did not make... I mean, was this made for a kid?
That was the intent.
Okay, profanity. Ready?
Yep.
Scattered use of darn and dang.
Come on.
I guess it counts.
It does not count.
Ooh, alcohol, drugs, and smoking. A visibly drunk man walks out of a tavern slurring his words. A musical number takes place in a pub.
The mayor never gets to light that fucking cigar the whole movie.
Yeah, they don't mention that, though. That's actually a good thing. You're not supposed to have smoking. And two drunk men offer the dragon some alcohol. Yes, 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 yes. Under frightening and intense scenes, it has just the hillbilly Gogan family.
Just,
Their dirty clothes, rotten teeth, and greasy hair may look unsettling to some young children. To some everybody. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
There's a spoiler. There's a spoiler alert one.
Oh,
Sex
really?
and nudity. Yeah, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Nora kisses her fiancé, Paul, on the mouth.
For Christ's sakes.
Just in case.
Did whoever write this, do they have separate beds?
They
Jesus,
might.
fuck.
They might. And this was rated PG, obviously.
Yes, it was.
Was it even PG? Yeah, it had to be PG. It wasn't
It was-
G. It was PG.
Actually, no. Maybe, was it G?
Oh, shit, it's G. It's G.
Yeah.
This is a G-rated film.
Yeah,
This
I
is not a PG film.
I remembered it being G.
Holy Christ, this should be a PG-rated film. There's kidnapping in this thing.
Well, listen, back in the day, PG was really reserved.
At the end, Terminus tries to shoot Elliot with a
Well, he misses.
giant, what the hell's the word? Harpoon.
Yeah, trying
He tries
doesn't.
to harpoon him.
Trying doesn't mean PG.
I don't know. I don't understand rating anymore. But
Well,
you know,
listen, back in the day, it was G, PG, and R.
You know, I'm not. You know me. I'm really not a softie when it comes to like or not a prude or anything when it comes to like watching films and stuff. And I watched a lot of stuff as a kid. I don't think any of that hurt me at all. However, I still remember how upset I was when E.T. died when I was in the theater. And there was no need for that. There was no need to make a child cry. I remember my brother crying behind me at Gremlins. There was no need to make a child. Well, that was a horror film. That's his fault. He's an idiot. But E.T. was not supposed to be a horror film. There wasn't supposed to be death in it. That is no fair. So I just question sometimes, like, who's putting this shit in kids' films? I mean even
ironically enough, the kid in E.T., his name was Elliot.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, one of our commenters, and I'm not negative or anything. Thank you for tuning in. But someone mentioned something along the lines of like it says somewhere that having children be in danger in films and stuff, it's actually a good thing. It helps children grow. And it's like, all right, if you're talking about conflict and adventure and overcoming certain things, yeah, I get that. But how often does a child have to grow from having their parents die during the war and then have to fight the Nazis with a witch?
I could see both sides of that argument.
Me too. That's why I'm not saying they're wrong. I just feel like there's a limit to how, and like when it comes to even for adult films, there was a time period, I forget, like early 2000s maybe, when there was a lot of attention to action films that were putting children in danger, and they're like, stop doing this is bullshit. And a lot of people were getting upset about that.
Right.
But no one looked at the Disney films. That was around
because it's Disney.
That was around, probably around the same time that Spielberg turned the guns into flashlights.
Yeah, I think that's been
in that period.
Actually, you know what? I don't think it's been remedied. I actually think that is the cut that's out there.
I don't care.
The version that I have, I'm not a fan of the movie E.T. I even when I was a kid, I was talked into seeing it when I didn't want to.
No, I liked it as a kid, but I
didn't like it. I never liked it. When I was here's a quick story. So I very vividly remember going on a car ride to go to see E.T. It was my sister, my mother, my aunt's friend, and myself. And I remember them talking to me in the car about going to see this movie E.T. And I was like, I don't want to see this movie. It's like I don't want to see it. It looks dumb. And
how old were you?
6.
6. Okay, so I was a bit older than you then.
Yeah, you were 8 or 9. So I was 6 years old, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. It looks dumb. And they tell me, they said, listen, there is a spaceship on the top of the movie theater, and we can go walk in it, and it's like a ride. It's going to be awesome. And
speaking of abusive parents,
yeah, it's like if you go, this was my aunt that was telling me this. Not even
I
my mother. My mother went along with it, but she told me that there was this spaceship on the roof of the theater, and it was like a ride, and we are going to go on it. If I went to see the movie and I behaved myself, we could do it. Of course, we watched the whole movie, and I'm like, "Where's my fucking space ride?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, it's closed." Yeah,
you didn't enjoy the film.
no, I did not.
Wow, I at least enjoyed the film, even though I cried. I still liked the film. But my quick story about that is kind of similar, though, and I've told this before, but very quickly, we were on the line to see Tron. This is back in the old days when the lines would go around the block of the movie theater, and my parents were on line with us to see. And they were showing Tron and E.T. and guys were coming out, finding out how many people were buying tickets so they could get the seats filled, and my mother just turned to my father and go, "Well, if Tron sold out, we get to see E.T. again." I just remember thinking, there's no way I'm seeing E.T. again. We ended up seeing Tron, which is fine, but I don't know what would have gone down if E.T. came up as again, but I know I wouldn't have gone smiling. It would have got ugly.
Yeah, there's a spaceship on the roof. It's like a ride. Dude, you'll love it.
I think the memory of that death scene was enough for me. I was like, no, I'm not going back. No.
Not doing it.
No, I'll see you in the car. But yeah, it didn't happen. So Pete's Dragon, do we miss anything? I mean,
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I still like the film.
I do still like the movie.
As horrible as it is, as horrible as the subject matter is in the film, I still love almost every song, and I still sing along with them. Except the razzle dazzle.
So it's currently rated as a 6.3 out of 10. What do you thinking there, sir?
All right, so the part of me that loves the film wants to give it a 7.
Same.
The part of me that's a bit more rational is like, well, it really doesn't deserve more than a 6, except maybe for the music. But I mean, you compare it to, I don't know. I don't know if I can untie nostalgia.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks, we gave that a 6, right? I don't think we gave that. I don't think we gave that a 7.
Hold on, let me bring up our recent ratings. We gave that a 7.
We did give it a 7. Holy shit!
Yes, so we have to give this a 7, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, between the two, I think there's definitely more music in this that I like. I think there's more music in this. No, there's not. Well, time-wise,
there's way more music in this.
You think?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When I listen,
I'm not arguing.
No.
Whoa, I would draw the question.
I remember very clearly. Obviously, we just reviewed Bedknobs and Broomsticks last week. There's way less music in that movie.
Okay, fair enough. I liked more of it, so I guess it didn't seem like as much to me. Even though, again, the songs they trimmed. Oh, well, I wish they hadn't. I wish they had trimmed the goddamn children dance out of Everyone Belongs in This World, and then left in the full bar sequence, because I always loved when she's dancing on the barrel and the shoots out and everything. It's like, This is great. It's a fun scene. It's a fun scene. It's a fun song. They cut the fun song off, and they cut it. But I did agree with them cutting off some of the other stuff. I'm just babbling at that point. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good.
So we're rated at 7.
Beautiful. All right. We're spinning the wheel this week.
Okay. Yeah, you're up, so you get the call.
Yeah, I'm not going to challenge back to you. Because if I do that, then it's probably going to be the fucking Apple Dumpling Gang or some shit.
I can tell you. You want to know what my challenge would be if this was mine?
Snowy River.
I'll tell you the connection. If I was challenging you after this, my connection would be red buttons and let me say red buttons.
Okay.
I forget the other actor. Red Buttons was also in another Disney film called Chomps.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I would. That would be my challenge to you. But we're doing the wheel, so it's on the wheel though. So if that comes up, I will shit a brick sideways.
If I was challenging, if I was gonna pick a challenge and it was like a connection, but also Disney, I would probably have to go. Oh fuck! What was the movie that came out in like '82 with the fucking dragon?
Sean Connery.
Not Sean Connery.
You're not talking about which dragon film? Dragonheart?
Nope. I'm gonna get
Dragon
it.
Slayer?
Dragon Slayer. Yes.
Yeah, I mean the guy. You mean the film where the guy slays the dragon?
Well, yeah, that one.
Yeah, Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, that's the one. Dragon Slayer. Slays a dragon. It's right there in the title. Let's see. Yes, Dragon Slayer. That I would absolutely be challenging that to you if we were going based on that. It's a Disney movie. It's got dragons in it. Came out in 1981. So.
Well,
yeah.
and also keep in mind, Pete's Dragon is still on the wheel. So if that comes up, we're watching the remake. Or you are.
No, I'm vetoing it. So just so you know, that's absolutely happening.
All right. Well, I'm ready, sir. What are we watching next?
All right, let me pull up the wheel.
Oh, you didn't even pull it up. I was
No.
calling for you to pull it up.
Listen, the wheel is up. Okay.
Okay. All right.
The wheel is up. But the way it works is I can't pull up the wheel till we're ready to use it. I can't just bring it up and then minimize it because of how I do the video now.
I apologize for the criticism.
You should apologize. All right.
I did.
I know you did. You ready? This wheel, what a fuck! It's just a vomit of letters. You can't read anything on here because there's 261 of 300 movies that could be on here. All right.
I got my screen up. So I can see it.
Oh yeah. All right. Here we go. Oh boy. Big money. No whammies. Oh fuck.
My feed's slow. What would come up?
Well, if you just wait for 3 more seconds, you'll see it.
Oh.
And boom.
Ghost of Mars. Ah!
John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars.
We saw this together on a bootleg copy in my living room apartment, my apartment living room.
That's right.
Oh my God. One of the most disappointing films we ever watched. Oh, great.
Yeah. That was when you were living in, what was
Deer
it?
Creek?
No,
Deer Creek.
something Park. What's the name
Deer
of that?
Park.
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah.
A lot of talking, yeah.
I remember because I remember calling you, and
we were so excited.
Well, yeah, because it's a Carpenter movie, but I remember calling you, and I told Scott, I'm like, coming down. It's like, bring an alcohol. We're gonna order some Chinese food, and we're gonna watch Ghosts of Mars. I got a bootleg copy. It just came out this weekend. I think it had just come out that weekend in theaters, and it was my bootleg copy was really good. I mean, it was really good.
At this point, we're talking burned VCDs or DVDs. We're not into like streaming yet or anything. So.
No. It was DVDs were a thing, but it could play like all types of burned CD, video discs, and all that. And that's exactly how this was. It was letterboxed. It had surround sound. It was a really good copy for a bootleg. And were we disappointed?
Did we watch Blair Witch 2 the same night, or is that a separate night?
I want to say we watched that at my apartment.
No.
Was it yours as well?
That was at mine as well, because actually no, we didn't watch the same night because we ended up watching that twice because I was an idiot.
I feel like the wives weren't involved. I think it was just you and I that watched it.
Which one, Ghosts?
No, the wives were involved with that one. No, Blair Witch 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was just you and me for Blair Witch 2.
I remember, watching Ghosts of Mars was like watching the 2016 elections. It just this was supposed to end happy. What's going on here? Why? So now we have to watch that again. Okay, cool. I'm ready.
Ghosts of Mars. I have not watched that. Honestly, I don't think I've seen it since we watched it together.
Me neither.
I've seen bits
reason
and
to.
pieces. I've seen bits and pieces, and that's it. I've never watched it beginning to end since that night.
I don't know if Holly's seen it. Maybe if she hasn't seen it, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Torture her.
Maybe I can get Mare to watch it because I know she hasn't seen it since then, and she probably doesn't remember.
Yeah, we'll bring them on.
She probably remembers not liking it. If I tell her, oh, I got to watch Ghosts of Mars next week, she's like, yeah, no, you can watch that by yourself. I'm actually looking forward to watching this. As crazy as it sounds, because I remembered.
But not in a good way.
No. I remembered us just vehemently hating it.
Yes.
And that's why I want to rewatch it, because I haven't watched it in 20 years.
I haven't hated it in a while. Yeah, I think it was more disappointment. I mean, the hatred came from disappointment, just like I was. I mean, Vampires was okay, but it was definitely the last film he made that was like, decent.
The last movie that he made that was decent was Ghosts of Mars. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying Vampires.
Oh, Vampires. Yes, that was the last.
But even Vampires was like, it had some good moments, but you're struggling. And this one was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, but you can.
And somehow he got a bigger budget for the
for Ghosts of Mars.
Film.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. Even though Vampires is obviously nowhere near a perfect film, but it is a competent film, and it still has a lot of that cool John Carpenter mojo.
I have a lot less love for the film because I've read the novel it was based on, and so I'm just a little biased because I thought
and that's perfectly fine. I've never read it, so I still enjoy the movie.
I thought there was stuff in the novel that, like, why did you not use this? This was good. And then like, okay, no, we're gonna do with whatever this is. All right.
Yeah.
But that's, again, I enjoyed the film, but it's not really a great film.
No,
by any stretch of the imagination.
But I do still enjoy it quite a bit.
Yep.
All right.
Let's wrap this up, sir.
Let's wrap it. All right, everybody. As always, thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Moviesucktastic, episode 422. Thanks for joining us while we just reviewed Pete's Dragon from 1977. Go to our website at moviesucktastic.com and download the show, listen to the show, click on the YouTube link, go watch the show. We're live every week, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, give or take. Yeah, some weeks we're not, but
life happens.
Life always happens. Thursday nights are the night that we try and go live at 8 o'clock. Eastern Standard Time, of course. The brand new website. If you want, you can email us at themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. Currently, go to the website and fill out the form. We actually are getting those, not emails for some reason. I don't know why. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. And you can download our podcast player at moviesucktastic.com/mst.apk, or just download your favorite podcast player and do a search for Moviesucktastic. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. You can go to our Letterboxd account, letterboxd.com/Moviesucktastic. I mean, running out of things here. I think that's it. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
There's room for everyone in this world. Just have to make
we're done.
some room. What?
I said, okay. We're done. Hate that
How
song.
about I'll hold her?
Ugh. Yeah, I bet you will. All right, everybody. Oh yeah, let me kill that. We'll talk to you next week when we review John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars. Yeah. All right, everybody. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.